I'm Tracy, founder of Frame and Fame Personal Branding. This episode of Fierce Exchange, we are going to have a very special guest. She is known as someone very personable, passionate, and professional, and she is in a very competitive industry, recruitment. The lady sitting next to me is Helen Corke, founder and director of Charlotte Frank.
Thank you, Tracy. That's a lovely introduction. And it was really born out of the love and passion for the administrative area. It was an area which I found was kind of under loved almost, you know, and it was something that I felt we could make a real impact and difference by focusing on. Anyway, as time's gone on and business has grown across Asia, it's been fantastic to watch, and organically we've grown into doing C-suite stuff, so all the way up to CAOs and COOs. So it's been a wonderful progression during that decade, and also we've been just so proud to fly the flag for the administration or professional networks across Asia. I think the truth behind that is that it's all based on the relationships that we have with our clients and the loyalty that they've shown to us during a really, really challenging few years. Also the team. It goes without saying that, you know, this is a massively team-based success, and I've been exceptionally lucky with the people that we've got in the Charlotte Frank team, and with the external support from the bigger group that co-owns my business. It's been a phenomenal journey, but one which has been possible because of the loyalty and the relationships that we have with our clients, and it's really as a result of the high touch nature of the relationships that we have with them that has enabled us to still flourish in what's been, you know, extraordinarily challenging times. I would say some of the biggest needs in the industry right now are to help people have the confidence that they deserve but might not have to go for things that they might not envisage possible for themselves, you know. So I would say some of the biggest challenges that our candidates have often is getting over nervousness, or, you know, believing in themselves and taking that leap of faith to do something that might be slightly out of their comfort zone, but, you know, we will support them to get there. And that consultative side of our business is, I think, also makes us very different. I think the personal branding thing is exceptionally important, not just from an aesthetic standpoint, but also from how you feel about yourself. And that comes from having genuine confidence that's authentic. So I think there's a number of things that candidates can do to help themselves achieve success through interviews. And one of those elements is certainly personal branding, whether it be the way in which they're dressing for their interview, whether they've thought about the culture that they're joining of the firms that they're looking at, and whether that's actually in tune and matching their own cultures. So I think there is a huge amount that you can do through personal branding, and that comes down to also, of course, all of the LinkedIn things and making sure that your profile, when you send it out to recruiters, is looking good and is concise. So yes, I mean, it's a huge spectrum of things that they can do to help give themselves a better chance of landing the right job. Yeah, great question. I think, to be honest with you, if we reverse time and go back 5 years, LinkedIn was not as prolifically used as it currently is. You know, for the administration kind of population specifically, I think it was probably half as popular as it is today. And I think in some ways we've got COVID to thank for that kind of burst of growth in terms of the awareness around the importance of that kind of online presence. Through LinkedIn and other sites. Certainly from an employer's standpoint, they're doing a lot more direct work with candidates through the medium of LinkedIn, which obviously is not great for people like myself in the consultancy business of recruitment, but, you know, it's wonderful, and we have to embrace technology, and we have to be supportive of our clients when they are able to find people directly. It's obviously an important balance to find, and I think in terms of the employers using LinkedIn, it's definitely happening, and the candidates are absolutely more confident in building their profiles online and then being able to get contacted by recruiters and or in-house teams that way. Again, great question. I mean, I think LinkedIn is used extensively by recruiters. And there are different levels of LinkedIn that we as recruiters can purchase to use, So I think it's important for employees, for candidates to understand that it is important that they have a presence, and it is important that they think about the photo that they're using. Some people don't have a photo, and that can be quite curious in itself, but I think it's about making sure that your information is factual, making sure that you've thought about the way in which it's looking and that it's coming across, whether that be a little opener about what you do, how you do it, what makes you stand out. But I think a photograph is important, and it needs to be appropriate, and I know that's where your business comes in, right? It needs to make sure that you're within a certain parameter of what's kind of professional and going to be considered as an acceptable profile picture. But I think it is an important element to your LinkedIn page these days. Truly, the phone and the emails and having those moments of actually having a virtual Zoom, or it's so important. It's been absolutely critical. And also sharing each other's challenges during these times of difficulty has been a bonding experience. I mean, even you and I have been on the phone as client and consultancy during times when I know I've had my children around my ankles and they're screaming for mummy. And I think there has actually been this extraordinary bonding through this last few years, because we've been in situations which we would never normally have been in with our clients. And actually, I feel that has brought us all much closer. There's a lot of humanity through this that's come through, and that's been the most beautiful gift for all of us, I think. There has always been this kind of veil between life and work, and I think that's been lifted because we had no option but to lift it. And the reaction of our clients and our candidates has been humbling, I would say. It's been really a lovely moment of acceptance and actually of genuine care for each other, because they know it's not easy with little children, and equally that they're okay with that because you're still doing the best that you can do. So I think it's about authenticity, it's about sharing the vulnerabilities that we're all equally sharing during difficult times. And I know that this is quite unique to Hong Kong because the rest of the world is now getting on with life, but I would say, in answer to your question, it's been refreshing to see how the relationships have actually deepened through these moments, and actually it's benefited us as a business as a result. I think authenticity, honestly, and also not being afraid to put yourself out of your comfort zone. And that for me was always about having a good balance of social presence, media presence, but also saying yes to things like this interview when ordinarily I'd be like, so I think it's about coming out of your comfort zone, but being very much yourself, being authentic, and actually having confidence in what you're great at, even though you might not be the sort of person that would want to shout it from the rooftops ordinarily. Being actually really proud of what it is that you can do, what you can achieve, and as a business, what you are able to do.